Welcome back. Looking at our top stories now. Police are investigating a boating tragedy in Auckland's Hauraki Gulf which left 2 children dead. The 5- and 8-year-old were trapped in a fishing boat that sunk. 4 adults on the boat swam to safety. A separate investigation is also underway after a woman's body was found near the scene of the sinking.
Anzac Day services around the country were well attended, with good weather ensuring thousands turned out for the commemorations. But there was a sour note in Wellington when 2 peace protesters burnt the New Zealand flag at the dawn ceremony. 2 people have been charged over the incident.
And on the other side of the world, up to 13,000 people braved chilly conditions at Anzac Cove on the Gallipoli Peninsula in Turkey to remember the New Zealand soldiers who died there. The ceremony passed off peacefully, despite terrorism alerts earlier being issued.
Battles in far-off countries are something very few New Zealand soldiers actually experience these days. Now most of their work is peacekeeping in countries much closer to home.
More than 100,000 Kiwis served in World War I, a tenth of our population. 16,500 of them were killed in action, the highest death rate per capita of any other country.
It was prevalent in World War I and World War II, where military forces were seen very much as purely a war-fighting organisation.
Back then, it was about numbers on the ground.
Once again, the need arises and the 2nd New Zealand Expeditionary Force is in again.
Another 150,000 Kiwis fought alongside the Allies in the Second World War. Nearly 12,000 killed this time.
And that's what you did. You applied the maximum amount of force to achieve your objective.
Malaysia followed, Korea, Vietnam.
Southeast Asia has become a special concern to New Zealand.
But war has changed, so have our troops. Today we have around 14,000 men and women in the Defence Force. Their role is not on the battlefield. They're there to keep the peace, rebuild infrastructure, help restore daily life.
Any military force, including the New Zealand military forces of course, change over time to reflect the needs of the period.
Soldiers say those signing up today haven't changed from the men who fought all those years ago. They share the same values that we aim to perfect these days. That of camaraderie, mateship, courage, integrity, that, again, soldiers of today need to master. And to master it would take frontline involvement in major warfare. If I was to deploy tomorrow, I'd have no problems with it. Juliet McVeigh, One News.
The female US soldier portrayed as an all-American hero after being dramatically rescued in Iraq has shot down the government's version of her story. Private Jessica Lynch was supposedly shot, stabbed and tortured before being saved. Made good headlines, but the reality was rather different.
Iraq, April 2003. A dramatic nighttime rescue by US Special Forces. They've surrounded an Iraqi hospital and saved a young American soldier with terrible injuries. A woman, 19-year-old Jessica Lynch. Private Lynch had been wounded and captured when her convoy was ambushed. The official story had her firing her rifle till she ran out of ammunition as her friends died around her. She came home to rural West Virginia a hero. America loved her, and saving Private Lynch was a terrific, inspiring war story from a war that would divide America. But today, in Congress, Jessica Lynch repeated that official story was simply not true. In the ambush, she said she had cowered in her vehicle and prayed.
It was understaged by media, all repeating the story of the little girl Rambo from the hills of West Virginia who went down fighting. It was not true. I have repeatedly said when asked that if the stories about me helped inspire our troops and rally a nation, then perhaps there was some good. However, I'm still confused as to why they chose to lie and try to make me a legend when the real heroes of my fellow soldiers that day were legendary. I have answered
Congress now wants to know how and why the American military's been spinning the harrowing tales of ordinary soldiers into tall tales of heroism. Jessica Lynch is now a mother back in West Virginia. She says she only wanted to tell the truth, but her story asks difficult questions of the American military and how it's presented itself in this war.
Well, sport now with Neil and Stephen Fleming. He's stepping down.
Yes, he has, as captain of the one-day internationals. We hear from Stephen Fleming shortly and see how his counterpart dismantled the Black Caps.
Can he bring up his 100? There it is.
And what a way to bring it up with a 4 backward of point. A clenched fist from Jai Wardner. He recognises the importance of the game. Cometh the hour, cometh the Sri Lankan captain.
Shame the Black Caps couldn't find the same sort of form.
Right through him.
It's close. It's real close, yeah.
But in Valencia, Team New Zealand show how to climb out of trouble and find out how All Black Keith Robinson earns his Hardman tag.
Your choice tonight, TV1.
She was evil personified.
The unknown story of history's most notorious child killer. Real Crime, Myra Hindley. Over on 2.
Settle on this! Watch out! Oh, scum of the earth! The medical board suspended your license.
This is a felony punishable by imprisonment, Doctor.
The verdict is in. Real Crime on TV1, ER on TV2. Your choice tonight on TVNZ.